Ashton here with Love, Life and Disability.
Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Love, Life and Disability with me, Kate Ashton. Today, I'm joined by Sav. How are you doing, Sav?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Thank you so much for coming along today. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you. Yeah.
So what really stood out for myself with you is you do student radio and you have done so much volunteering. Similar to myself, I started my career in radio and of course I've done lots of volunteering. What kind of student radio did you do and how did you get involved?
I started student radio in my final year of uni. I went to the University of Hertfordshire in Hatfield. I was on the main campus and I studied a degree in environmental management, which is quite niche. I started media back in January 2011 during my sandwich year placement at the London Wildlife Trust in King's Cross. It was a nature reserve called Camley Street Natural Park. They got me doing social media. They got me doing not just that, but also YouTube and blogging. And that kind of continued when I started my own YouTube channel in June 2011. And then I decided during freshers to join student radio, the student union's radio station. And they gave me some training and stuff. Started in October with my first show on a Thursday afternoon during the lunch time. So it was in between my lectures. So I had an hour show, or 2 hours, I think, just doing that. My first show, for the first 20 minutes, I didn't know how to put the fader up. And thankfully, I didn't record the show for that first show because that was terrible. Only I realized towards the end of my time, I realized that you're not supposed to put the fade up when you press the button to pre-fade, so you could hear people. No one ever bothered telling me.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was fun. I really enjoyed it. I only saw it as a hobby afterwards, because I was focused on trying to get into environmental management, like more into sustainability consultancy. But I think after student radio, I did hospital radio at Radio Norfolk Park, which is now known as Radio Harrow after a merger in 2015. So with Harrow Radio, community radio station, and Radio Norfolk Park, they merged in 2015. And they're still based at Norfolk Park Hospital in northwest London. Harrow/Brent, it's on the border between the two boroughs. I did that from November 2012 till like 2015. Only in 2015 I decided to take media as a serious career. So I've been doing it for 6 years now, and it's been an interesting journey. Not what I expected. It's been incredibly tough, especially when I was diagnosed in 2014 as autistic. They've known since I was 2 that I had learning difficulties.
Yeah.
When I was 17 in college, I was diagnosed with dyslexia, but they missed out the autism. It would have been Asperger's, but that the term and everything is still valid to a lot of people, but officially they're moving away from the terminology. They're moving away from high functioning, low functioning, autism, mild autism. People still say that autistic people, and it's valid to them. We shouldn't really tell them how they identify.
Yes.
That's something I've been learning as an advocate. Since 2017, I've been an advocate.
And what's it meant for you having your diagnosis now with autism? Like you say, you've known from like the age of 2. So how has that changed having that diagnosis?
It made me realize that explained a lot of things, like situations and interactions with people, friendships, why they ended, why it was so hard to maintain a friendship, certain ones when it was mostly me doing the hard work. I do have a bunch of friends now who are my closest friends and the best friend. I've had many best friends over my life, but this group of friends have been since between the period of 2011 to 2017. It was just, I lost a lot of friends. I unfriended a lot of people as well over the years, ghosted people because I felt like I felt that the friendship had ended naturally. Or sometimes something happened, like one of my old friends said something that didn't sit with me really well, and also certain situations as well where, like, I made the effort to go to where they lived, which it wasn't far away,
Yeah.
by train or by bus or anything. They just felt that it was too much of a hassle to come to where I lived in Pinner.
They just wouldn't reciprocate, I guess, and wouldn't
Yeah,
meet
and
you
then
halfway.
yeah, and also my current bunch of friends, I'm communicating with them, even though we don't talk to each other as much as we can. I really miss them a lot. I haven't seen them for a while now. Um, it's mostly been online, but
Yeah.
once lockdown is restrictions have ended, hopefully by the summer, touch wood, um, I've said to them that let's all of us meet together. I should be vaccinated by then.
Good.
So it will, all of us should be vaccinated by then. I know that a couple of my friends have been vaccinated, first dose. I'm due on Saturday,
Good
this
luck.
Saturday. Yeah, so first dose. So like both my parents have been diagnosed because my dad especially is a heart patient. So that was at least something good. They were diagnosed early in the month. So I'll be diagnosed, not diagnosed, I'll be vaccinated. I'll be vaccinated soon, and then hopefully in 12 weeks' time, I'll be fully vaccinated. And then that will mean that by summer, I'll still be wearing my face mask whenever I go out. I'll be wearing it, which is like, that'll be the norm for me.
It's the new normal now for a lot of
Yeah.
people. That.
And a lot of people with underlying health conditions and disabilities as well will probably be wearing face masks more, not just to protect themselves, but to protect others around them, even if other people don't want to wear masks anymore.
Yeah.
It's something.
When we've spoken before, Sav, we spoke about your from an Indian culture. So studying media, for example, is kind of like frowned upon at points, and because you might be expected to go down the traditional route of maybe studying business or mathematics. How has that worked for you, and being the oldest in your family?
Because I got older cousins and I've got younger cousins as well, but I've got two younger brothers. There was a pressure to go towards accountancy, because they said I was really good at maths, when in reality I always struggled with maths.
Okay.
Especially during A level. GCSE, I went from like near bottom set to top.
Well done.
In a space of a few years. They were really surprised that I went that quickly, because then GCSE maths was more fun than A level. I wish if I went back, I would have done not maths at A level, would have done something like graphic design.
That would have been good, yeah.
Instead, would have kept biology, wouldn't have done physics for AS, would have done biology, maths, not biology, graphic design, and geography. And I could have gone into graphic design or environmental. I don't know about environmental management, but I could have done graphic design. Because I really was good at that at GCSE level. I love architecture and design. I'm kind of like, because of my media career and everything, I love production and everything. Let's say the traditional, like a lot of my friends who are Indian, growing up, or South Asian, growing up and through college, they were like doing like finance, accounting, medicine, biomed, dentistry, all that usual career paths. And I'm like, that's not me. I never had a good experience with accounting. I don't think anyone has when they do work experience. I loved optometry, but so I enjoyed that. But looking back, if I could go back in time and do that again, I would have stuck with the graphic design and become a graphic designer, because back then, with the technology and everything, I think I would have done really well on that side with media as well. I would have gone into agencies and everything as well. Just the career path would have been similar. I would have done radio a bit much earlier, and all that. I would have done all that much earlier.
It's never too late though to do graphic design.
No, it's not. But I am looking at doing courses. Once I'm working and everything, I might just do a part-time course just to fill my time.
Yeah.
And once I get a new laptop and everything and all that, and I can use programs during my free time, I can just do some graphic design qualifications on the side and just have that as part of my all-rounder. But I'll still be in production. I mean, but the graphic design would help, like, me understand like designers. Sorry about that. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, that's what probably make me understand more about how graphic designers do.
That'd be amazing. So what is your favourite moments about working in the TV industry?
I enjoy the production side more. Over the years, I enjoyed it. I have presented. I've done that for BBC Clerk. I've done that for London 360, Media Trust. I have people say I'm a natural presenter.
You are. You're good.
It's practice. Being in front of the camera, being a YouTuber, always thinking on my feet, always planning ahead sometimes, or just like if you drop me into somewhere, I probably will adapt quite quickly. That's what I love about the TV industry. There's a lot of things that things are getting better slowly, but things I would like to see a lot more neurodiversity in the industry in 100%. General. And we're getting there slowly, but it needs a bit more of a push to get things going, like at the BBC, ITV, Channel 4, Channel 5, Viacom, and Sky.
Yeah.
The big media companies, just not just in TV but in radio as well.
It's every aspect, even behind the camera.
Behind the camera, especially behind the camera, we need to see more neurodiverse people. I'm sure there are a lot of neurodiverse people who are not aware that they are autistic, have ADHD, dyspraxia, dyslexia, etc., or the neurodiverse conditions and disabilities. I don't think many people realize they might have it unless they see someone who's actually open about it. They'll probably realize, wait a second, and they will come and talk to you and everything. It's like, just get a diagnosis. Even if the NHS is, the waiting lists are a joke. It took me a long time. It took me over a year to get diagnosed. I would say that's even much worse now during the pandemic, and even afterwards, I think it'll set everything back a good 5-10 years for people if you just wait there in the NHS. So if you can afford it,
do it as an actual self-diagnosis, like the amount of people I'm coming across.
It's still valid. it's
They're
valid.
just doing it.
I would recommend getting a private diagnosis if you can afford it, because then at least it's accredited. It will be noticed by the NHS, especially your GP will put that on your record. And also having that diagnosis will actually help you if you need to get benefits like PIP, which I'm on. I got that in 2014 after I got diagnosed. So literally my social worker at the time, he basically got the ball rolling for me and told me just get on that, because then it's not means, PIP is means tested. But thankfully back then they look at my diagnosis and also my report, and the report had everything that they don't need to have an assessment or anything. They just read everything and then approved it, which was very, very lucky. So yeah, I would definitely recommend getting PIP just to give you some financial support. It's not me. It's you don't have to tell them about your you have to tell them about the change of your circumstances and everything, but follow the PIP website and just do it once you're diagnosed, because it'll help you so much.
So we've touched on quite a few things there, so I've got lots of questions. I think I'm going to go for your YouTube first. So you spoke about obviously doing your presenting, and obviously I'm aware you've got the YouTube page, but I guess our listeners and vloggers might not know what you do on YouTube, and we will reference it and put it below. So what is your YouTube about, and what can people expect to see?
So I've been on YouTube for nearly 10 years in June, a decade of YouTube. A lot of ups and downs being a creator. My first channel, that was the one I created when I was at uni. Had much longer hair than this. Haven't had a haircut since November, I think. Waiting for April the 12th so I can just get my hair back to a bit of where I like it. So that was in 2011. 2014, I created Savan Films, which is my main channel now. That started off as a short films thing. My first video anniversary has just passed. 6-year anniversary, 2011, 2014. Yeah, seventh year now. So that YouTube channel, the first video was called Clouds. Just that. Then in 2016, it started to be more vlogs. And then I changed in 2017. I started to do an autism awareness series called Autism with Sav, Autism with Sav, all in cap with each word with a capital. I also did that. That video is still watched. My videos are still watched. I'm still getting subscribers, even though in 2019, in October 2019, I decided to take a step back from YouTube and stop doing the weekly videos because of the autism burnout, and that's the worst thing, autism burnout. But the constant autism burnout with my mental health and everything, I just wanted to focus on my career more. And without YouTube, I wouldn't be where I am right now, because it's taught me a lot of skills, especially video editing and everything, but also presenting, producing. It wouldn't have led me to doing Roundhouse Radio. It wouldn't have Roundhouse Rising. It wouldn't have led to in 2016 onwards, wouldn't have led me to my current friends, my closest friends. It wouldn't have led me to going to VidCon Europe in Amsterdam for 2 years.
Wow.
And also VidCon London in 2019. I didn't go to VidCon London 2020, because I was working at Sky at the time as an intern. And I felt like that's going to be too much, because I'll be talking to a lot more people. I'll be very tired, and I know how conventions are. I volunteer at SITC, formerly known as Some in the City, which is an online convention, YouTube convention, mostly for YouTube, but now it's diversed into more TikTok. In 2019, it was TikTok. A lot of TikTokers. They're a different breed of people, influencers. Instagram the year before, more Instagram influencers. It's evolved from a YouTube fan convention, but it's more focused on fans still, whereas VidCon is more focused on creators and industry people, which I prefer as a creator. But I have met my fans at conventions. I've met them at SITSI whilst volunteering. I've met them at VidCon whilst just going around. VidCon was more, my fans were more like, they could approach me more easily. Whereas SITSI, I was working technically. So I couldn't really just hang around with them. They did hang out with me like I was working, but also talking to them as well, because my role was directional and roaming, which I have experience of doing anyways as a former steward at Arsenal.
Oh, cool.
So I know how to manage a crowd, but a football crowd is different to a crowd of screaming fanboys and fangirls.
I can imagine.
Preteens and tweens and teenagers just screaming and running in all sorts of directions, and then you should just shout at the top of your lungs, stop. As soon as I raise my voice really loudly, they just stop in their tracks, look at me, I look at them, I just show I'm a volunteer and I'm in charge. So if you don't behave, I can just talk to my team leader. I can talk to the event security that you're causing a health and safety hazard. You'll be kicked out of the convention. So behave. Otherwise, I will escalate it further. You get all sorts of people like entitled, self-entitled. They think they're top, the
top dogs.
Everything, top dogs, and they're not. I was like, they complain. I had parents complaining to me because I made a decision that they were causing a problem. Like they're blocking a fire exit because you're blocking it. You're causing a hazard here. And also get spontaneous meetups by creators, and creators are told you shouldn't be doing spontaneous meetups, or even people just sitting and causing a flow problem and all that experience of being a steward. But they also had issues with security, like not doing their job properly and everything, and it led to confrontations. I don't like confrontations at all. It's just, I have, thankfully, during the pandemic, there hasn't been conventions. I do miss them, but I miss more of I miss my friends a lot, but I miss just going to conventions and just chilling and hanging out with people. And VidCon is more like that. And if I get the opportunity next year to go to VidCon, and it's for work as well, I can just take some time off work, or I can just go with work. I can just go and just do that. And with SITSI, I think I might take a step back from that. I have discussed with a couple of my close friends that maybe it's time I put a loan under SITSI. I might go to the pub at the Excel and just hang out with them and say hi and over. But most likely that might not happen, but next year I am thinking of that, and have been, because I'm thinking reassessing everything, because I'm still a content creator, but it's gone now beyond the point where my autism advocacy, how can I make events more autistic friendly, neurodiverse friendly? And VidCon is more easier to talk to about all this stuff. They have taken my stuff on board. So yeah.
So when we've been speaking about disability in the arts, especially behind a camera and on screen, is how do you feel we can actually improve that representation? What steps could we be taking?
Talking to a lot of disabled people, also, because every disabled person is different and have different needs, there's no one size fits all. So there has to be an umbrella, like where everyone can talk openly, and each accommodation is sorted properly. Also, people being trained, especially people senior level and mid-level, junior, everyone needs to learn about ableism and how to be anti-ableist, because it's a lot of internalized ableism, which I have, which my friends and family still have. I have. It's all about unlearning. And also it comes as well with anti-racism as well, because it's anti-ableism, anti-racism, anti-colonialism, all that falls underneath the same thing, and it needs to be tackled. All these issues need to be tackled as well, and only then true progress will happen. And I feel that we're on the right step and right direction. It's just going to take a little bit longer because of what's going on at the moment. I do hope that in the next 10 years that there'll be more neurodiverse people, more disabled people, people of color working in not just at junior level behind the scenes and in front of camera, but behind the scenes, mid-level and senior level. And I want to see a lot more senior CEOs of person of color, disabled, LGBTQ plus, everything.
Same.
And I think I'm at the right place at the right time. Like, they're looking for more people like me, and I fit a lot of boxes. I tick a lot of boxes as well, and it's just a matter of, it's also the talent as well. Are they willing to nurture that talent?
Yeah.
And I would say that I would be happy to eventually move on into a role that would be a senior position.
It's like growth in company and growth in job. You know, we don't want to start off as runners, 3 months later not be there, or come back be a runner again. We want to be able to grow and develop and learn those skills and become the next senior. As I know so many places at the moment within the media, they are doing different diversity and inclusion strategies and trying to improve things. So if we take the BBC, they've just done I think it was the 2012.
Yeah.
And they're trying to improve things. So people are getting there. I think we're a long way off, but I think until places make line managers and senior managers accountable for their actions and maybe not being diverse within their teams and within their thoughts, that we probably can't improve. So, as you know, the show is all about love, life and disability. So we've been touching upon the love and the disability, well, the life and the disability part. But what about the dating life fit for yourself? Obviously, we're in a pandemic at the moment, so that can be quite difficult other than talking on apps. How do you navigate the dating world being neurodiverse? Is it difficult?
It is difficult. I have never been in a relationship before in my life. I've had a lot of crushes. I've asked people out, but I don't have the courage to ask my current crushes out at the moment. Fear of losing them as friends, most because what we have is amazing as friends. I have been on online dating apps, been on the main ones, but also specific ones for Asian people. And I was close to having a relationship, but I screwed up on my part more. I regret that still to this day. I am looking for someone once I've settled down into working, and it's just I need a bit of stability and routine. Then things will happen quite quickly, because that's the nature of things, especially when now at my age of 30, nearly 31 soon, I do want to be in a relationship. I do want to have the next step of that relationship as well, eventually go toward marriage,
Yes.
and have a family. It all depends on certain such things, but also I'm just looking for someone who's caring, understanding of me being autistic, but also if they're a geek as well, like me, a massive geek like me, that's a plus, a big plus, because if we have similar interests as well, and also I'm willing to learn their interests and they're willing to learn mine. I know relationships involve a lot of compromise as well.
Give and take.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be too one-sided. I've learned that through seeing other people's relationships with friends and family, and I know what I want. Okay, yes, I don't have the relationship experience, like in terms of, oh, I've had several relationships with people. I haven't. I have zero. If the first one I have as a relationship works, that's a lot of people just have the one relationship. It's a crazy amount. I don't know the stats or anything, but from my experience, I've seen friends and family just have the one relationship and then still married or in that relationship.
My brother's the same.
For life. So I get a feeling that that's most likely going to happen to me as well.
Yeah.
If they're neurodiverse, that's fine. I know in a video, I talked about it in a past video, long time back now, good few years. I said I wasn't looking for someone who's autistic because I never used to get along with autistic people as much, especially in the early days of diagnosis, after diagnosis. But now I've come to it like I get along better with autistic women and girls. I get along with them more because of masking, unintentionally, intentionally. Most likely for me, it was unintentionally not being diagnosed until quite late in life. And also that plays in because one of my closest friends is also autistic. One of my other closest friends has an autistic partner.
Okay.
So they both understand.
And that's key. It's that understanding each other and that partnership.
Yeah. And also my best friend and my other two closest friends as well, they've got to know me. If you know one autistic person, you only know one autistic person. We're not all the same.
No.
And I've said to my friends who aren't autistic, look at other autistic people, who follow them and look at their experiences, learn from them, because then you will understand autism better, but also you will learn a lot more about me as well.
It's a scale, like many different disabilities and conditions, because if you take mental health, some people can't even leave the house, they can't get dressed in the morning, they can't go for showers because they're so consumed in mental health. Well, then you may get somebody else on completely the other end of the spectrum, they're needing to be around people to just be in that safe zone. And we can have a complete spectrum, even with my own disability.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah. It's the same with me. What I've learned about the spectrum is not like one end to another. It's a mix of different traits. It's like an infinity loop. You pick out various different things from various parts of that spectrum. And yes, there are people who are not nonverbal, who don't speak, who can't communicate as well. Whereas people like me, from the outside, no one knows I'm autistic until I tell them. But they always have that stereotypical thing of what an autistic person looks like. What normally they think of is a white, straight male, cisgender, a savant, all that, a genius, all that sort of, not true at all. And then they meet me, and they're like, some of them are thrown off from what they think. And when they get to know me better and everything, they start changing their mind. You go, actually, it's more different to what I thought it was. And there's still a lot of things. It's been difficult telling someone that I'm autistic, and because I'm so open about it, it might hinder me from finding someone. But then that means for me, well, that person wasn't right for me.
Mm-hmm.
They don't. Then there's no, and they are, when it comes to relationships, it might have turned out for the better that I'm not in a relationship with that person, because pre-diagnosis, if I was in a relationship with someone from college or high school, or like even uni, if I was still in a relationship and they found out I was autistic, will they be still with me?
Yeah, are they going to leave you like midway or something? It's not cool.
they just big if. Now that I'm openly autistic, disabled, because I never used to see myself as disabled early on in my diagnosis.
It's interesting you say that, because a lot of people who are neurodivergent don't recognise it as a disability. Some people will, and some people don't. So it's interesting that you also bring that up.
Yeah, because some people, if they go out with me, they'll say, "You're not really disabled, are you?" And I'm like, to me, it is a disability because it does prevent me from doing things. On top of my autism, I have clinical depression, anxiety, OCD. That's more germs and bacteria. I'm also self-diagnosed myself as dyspraxic, because I realized that I am. There are questions about me having ADHD, but I was never an ADHD child.
Mm-hmm.
I was never like what people think of someone who's got ADHD, because I can concentrate for long periods of time. I can do all this sort of thing. But there's a question mark about the ADHD. But once I'm working and everything, I will get a private diagnosis because I can't afford to. Just whilst I'm working, at least the money that'll come back from that diagnosis will come back, and I can reuse that money elsewhere in my life, which I need. I'm definitely dyspraxic because my hand-eye coordination is rubbish. It can be. I think playing football helped, playing cricket as well in my younger years helped with my hand-eye coordination. But it's not perfect, and it'll never be perfect because it's also memory as well. Like I got a very good memory long-term and short-term memory, but because of stress and everything, it has affected my memory a lot. But I might need some support with my dyspraxia at work, but I haven't said anyone yet that I need to have an official diagnosis. Then they can read the report with my permission, and we can work out what to do.
And what's going to be next for you then? Obviously, at the moment, we're still in the massive pandemic. You're getting your job this week. What's next for you, let's say, once normality restarts?
This is a new normal. So I'm hoping that the world will become more sustainable and more greener much quicker, because the next pandemic's just around the corner. Our relationship with wildlife and nature and everything needs to be rethought, because it's not, because how we consume and overconsumption and everything is affecting everything at the moment. That's why I still link back to my degree and everything, because I can still use that, what I've learned. And I'm always like learning about new stuff, new practices, everything, because it's ever evolving. I don't know. I'm hoping I'll be working soon. In the next couple of weeks or so, I'll know.
Fingers crossed.
Because, touch wood as well, that I'll be working, even if it's freelancing for a bit or just doing something or more permanent. I don't know yet. There's several things going for me, like a few things that might happen, but there's at least one of them feels more secure at the moment, especially the way it just happened so quickly this past week.
Good.
This past few days or so. So the other two, not sure. One of them I can influence and make it hurry up, but the other one I can't really. And the one that happened this week, just don't know. Don't know yet, but it looks more certain. They're more willing to accommodate as well.
Good.
With my needs. And there's an autism at work summit by the National Autistic Society, which is next week for 2 days, and I've sent over stuff to the people during my interviews to just check out. So I've had at least 5 interviews this past couple of months, since January. So none of them have been bad or anyways. They've all been good and positive. It's just something will happen soon. So yeah.
Well, good luck. And where can
Thank you.
people go to find out some more information about yourself?
I've done a lot of work over the years. People can connect with me on LinkedIn if they want to. They can find it from my website, my portfolio website. It's savangandecha.me. S-A, V for Victor, A-N-G-A-N, D for Delta, E-C-H-A.me. Just type that up on Google or on the search bar, and it should straight away take you to the website, and then you can find out a lot about me and my past work and what I'm doing at the moment.
Amazing.
So yeah.
Well, that's amazing. Well, we'll ensure that we put the links below on our podcast, and we'll also do it onto the YouTube page and link over to you. But it's been so cool to speak to you today, and thank you so much for joining.
No worries.
Thank you. So that was the lovely Sav, and he's incredible. And don't forget, this month is Autism Awareness Month. So if you're living with autism, don't forget to reach out to the National Autistic Society, and you can find out more information. So today, to my understanding, is Autism Awareness Day, but the whole of April is Autism Awareness Month. So do keep an eye out, do check out what Sav has been up to. And over the coming weeks, we will be hearing from more amazing people telling their story on the different disabilities in which they're living with and what they're doing in the media industry, as well as finding out about their love lives. Because obviously here at Love Life Disability, we love to find out all about the love. And obviously at some point I need to give you guys a bit of an update, but as it stands, there isn't much. So yeah, but we'll see how it goes, and I look forward to speaking to you all very soon. Thank you.